Well, a disturbing video of an Indian student being handcuffed and pinned to the floor by law enforcement at Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey has gone viral, prompting swift response from the Indian consulate in New York. This incident that's playing out on your screens at the moment, it occurred on the 7th of June, and it was brought to public attention by Indian-American entrepreneur Kunal Jain, who shared the footage on social media platform X. In fact, Mr. Jain claimed the student was scheduled to board a flight that night, but was instead detained and left behind. In fact, Kunal Jain joins us live on NDTV currently. Thank you so much, Mr. Jain, for making time for us. Can you actually describe the moment you first noticed something was wrong, and what exactly did you see playing out in that very moment when you recorded this?
So this is exactly what you see was there in front of my eyes, and I'm the one who's right here behind this row taking the video. And we had like about 50 people with me because I was the first one in a first class right there. So, but nobody even dared to see. The problem which I did not like about us is that we all are Indians, and we were standing in the line. Why we were just ignoring that fact that it was an Indian guy who was sitting there, two policemen was pinned him down, sitting on the top of it. I have never seen in the last 22 years even a treatment with terrorists like this.
Right.
We have never
Mr.
seen
Jain,
this is a public humiliation.
Warning or conversation before he was pinned down and handcuffed, or did it all happen suddenly?
The reason I think why he was pinned down, because he was a little violent and because he was feeling disoriented. So I didn't know why he was disoriented. They were claiming because they were not able to understand Hindi, and he was speaking like in Haryanvi accent in Hindi. So I thought that probably I can help out. So I even went there and asked one of the police officers, can I help just understanding what he is saying? And he did not allow me to do so. Then the other one of the doctors showed up, and he offered the help. They did not even ask for it. What he did instead, he called more police. Because what happens when there is a patient or a guest who is violent, airlines don't allow them on the plane. So they called the pilot. Pilot showed up, and the pilot said, no, we cannot take him on the plane because he is a threat to other passengers. So when that happened, they pinned him down. He was sitting there first, and they pinned him down. And then the worst part was when the other police came, there was about 7-8 police officers showed up. I have sent one more video, you should show up. Like 7-8 police officers showed up. Right. They emptied the whole queue, all the way the alley from the aeroplane to where we were there, like boarding.
All right.
And they tied his legs and hands and hold him like this, like a kid. And that moment, I literally started crying why they are doing this. And that too publicly. That was my only intention, because these students or whoever he was probably came, and then he came probably illegally, legal means. Nobody can be there on the airport without illegal means. He must have some kind of visa. I mean, nobody can say that he doesn't have visa. Of course, he had a visa to come in. Now, whether he can stay or not stay, it could be a debatable issue. And I have no problem.
It's obviously, it's quite distressing what you're narrating to us. You saw him cry. You claimed that his legs were tied up. You saw him pinned to the floor. Yeah. As a fellow traveler, what was going on through your mind at that moment? And did you actually hear what the officers said to him or to each other during this entire situation?
Yes, I was right there. Officers were saying, hey, you just shut down. You just shut down. Do not do this. But the problem was the communication. But it's very hard to understand that this guy would not understand English. Of course, he could understand English. That's why he was there. It's that he was disoriented, he was stressed, and that's why he was speaking in Hindi, कि मैं पागल नहीं हूँ, ये लोग मुझे पागल बना रहे हैं, मैं पागल नहीं हूँ, ये मुझे पागल साबित कर रहे हैं. Probably he was saying this conversation had happened at a port of entry. Because what happened when you come to the United States, they take you to the port of entry and they interview you there. So something might have occurred there and triggered this conversation. And whoever was the immigration officer found that this man or a boy or whoever he is probably a little disoriented or mentally disabled or something like that. And that's why he denied his visa. And he said, okay, we'll send him in the evening back. But in most cases, what they do is they keep the dignity intact. They keep a person, because I remember this incident happened with my sister about 10 years ago, and he was blocked, and he was actually that time a US resident.
Right.
But some misunderstanding happened at the port of entry, and they didn't allow her. So it happens all the time. I understand it, and I mean, U.S. government policies are very strict, which I understand it.
Right.
All
But
my
Mr. Jain,
problem
thank you
was
so much for bringing this entire incident to public attention. We are aware that this can be distressing for you to witness firsthand. Thank you so much for narrating what you witnessed. But this disturbing video that Mr. Jain has shared of an Indian student being handcuffed and pinned to the floor at the New Jersey airport has now gone viral. Mr. Jain does claim that there was a language barrier. We will, of course, keep tracking the responses from the consulate.